Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday. How's everybody's day going? How's everybody's week going? Shout out to the folks in the chat. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you all hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you're new to this channel. Share this channel out with everybody you know. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's continue growing this channel out. So, just wanted to ask and talk about the New York Yankees. Obviously, if things are clicking with them finally, are things headed in the right direction? Do we need to see some more? They've played 43 games so far. They're 25-18, 7 games over 500. They're in first place. They're leading the Blue Jays by about 2.5 games. They're leading the Red Sox by 3 games. Of course, there was a little bit of uncertainty about, at least for me, how the month of May was going to go for the Yankees based on their schedule. And as I'm looking at their schedule, it doesn't necessarily get any easier, although, there's only one series that I feel as though they absolutely need to sweep in that series, and that's against the Rockies, who are the worst baseball team as of right now, and they fired their manager and bench coach recently. But looking at the rest of the schedule, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a tough schedule, right? They have a second West Coast trip coming up, right? So they're going to come out to Colorado. Then they're going to play both LA teams. So they're going to play the Angels and the Dodgers. So, it's kind of crazy that they have that they're traveling west twice in 1 month. But, but we'll talk about all of that. But in the meantime, let me say what's up to the folks in the chat. Let's see who we got. We got Jonathan, Stephen B., Petruzzi, Ken, Norma, what's up? We got Bill in the chat. What up? Let's see who else we got. Daniel Berry, what is up? We got LI in the building. What's going on, man? How's it going? What's up? Ken saying Yankees lead the. What's up, Ronnie? What's up, Andrew? Ken says Yankees lead the Red Sox and Blue Jays by 4 games. Oh, so it's 4. Okay, I thought it was like 2.5 or 3. I knew it was 3 against Boston. So should that turn into 4? Because I just checked a little bit ago. But either way, the Yankees are in first place in the AL East. I think I would say that right now, the month of May has looked really good for them, right? I know, to start the month, they lost 2 out of 3 against the Rays. And, in that Rays series, they played some, it was some pretty bad baseball. Then headed into the Padres series, there was certainly a lot of uncertainty when it came to the Padres. So the reason why I'm saying that is because, the Padres, obviously they're a good baseball team. They got a good lineup. They have some good pitching with their rotation. They got some good pitching with their bullpen. There was certainly a lot of question marks when it came to the Padres series. They could have swept that series, but they still managed to come out and win that series 2 out of 3. So I was very happy with that, and I don't think a lot of fans expected the Yankees to beat the Padres 2 out of 3. I'm sure there's probably a lot of fans out there that thought that they would have probably gotten swept, which I totally understand. And then they went and traveled to Sacramento, played against the Athletics, and won 2 out of 3 there. And again, I think that series should have been a sweep, but things happen. They lost to 1 game in that series, and then they played against the Mariners. Right, they had a 3-game set again in Seattle, and they won 2 out of 3 there. So now the Yankees right now are on a 3-game series winning streak. So this is good. I don't know if they went 3 in a row in April, as I'm checking right now. It looks like checking. Let's see. Well, they won there. Well, okay, they had a couple in April. It looks like, but April was still a little bit of a rough month for them overall. But May, I feel like they've been coming around. So let me see who else we got in the chat here. I know I saw a few other folks. And shout out to Daniel Berry for being a member. He says freed for Cy Young, maybe happy. Yeah, I mean, he's 6-0 right now, so he's definitely on pace, right? Veteran Capybara, what's going on? So, what is up? We got Dr. Fisher. How you doing? What's going on? Shout out to you. Let's see. What's Li saying? Li is asking where are the fans that said the offense had question marks? Where are they at? I wonder. Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought up the the uh the offense, right, with the Yankees bats, because when you look at the Yankees bats, where was it? I'm trying to pull up the let me pull up the stats here. So batting, you look at the team stats, you look at their batting average. Right now it's sitting at 263. They're third overall. Home runs, they have 76 right now. They're first overall in that. They've scored 250 runs. Stolen base 32. They're tied for 17th. So they're offensively, I like what this team is doing. Offensively, I do like what this team is doing. Third base, yeah, it is a bit of a question mark. What happens with third base? I mean, I think that's just that's gonna be an ongoing question. Is that something that they're gonna have to address during during the trade deadline? Or are they gonna go after a bat? I don't know. The question is, does Hal want to add more to the payroll? That's been the biggest issue right now with the Yankees and not wanting to acquire players. They don't want to add more money to the payroll. They're trying to shed payroll, as you all know. Ken over here saying the magic of the Yankees is that we play the level of our competition. When they face off against good teams, they're great. Opposite versus crappy teams, and that's been a little bit of a story. But I feel like as of right now, I do feel as though the Yankees bats. There's certain names, right? There's one guy that I need to talk about because he's made some great improvements. Right now, his batting average is at 229, whereas a couple of weeks ago, his batting average was below 200. And I don't know if it was his back that was still bugging him or what have you. But one thing I will say is Cody Bellinger. I don't know if you've all seen it, but I feel like he's been standing out. I feel like he's been having better at bats. I mean, there was no doubt that his defense has looked phenomenal out there. He's been a big upgrade in the outfield, right? As far as defense goes, but I feel like his bat once again has been slowly coming around. He's getting some timely hits. He's been getting on base a little bit more. So I don't know about you guys, but I feel as though Cody Bellinger is one guy that's been stepping up as of late, and I hope it continues in that direction. He's been pretty consistent. I hope it continues that way. So far, I think the month of May has been pretty good to him. April has been pretty. April was a little rough, right? I mean, he was struggling at the plate. He had back issues. He did get food poisoning, so he did miss some playing time there. But I do feel as though his bat has been coming around as of late, and I feel like he is going to continue improving. I am confident in that. So I think we have been seeing who Cody Bellinger really is. But let me know what you all think. And let me get to more of the comments here. So Nathaniel says, I'm more on the pessimistic side usually, but I think if we could stay healthy, that this past series was a good omen because they have their first 3 series winning. Exactly. That's what I was saying. They're on a 3-game series winning streak. So 3 series winning streak now. So, it's encouraging signs to me. It's good signs. And, I mentioned Cody Bellinger specifically, who's been stepping up as of late. Once again, batting average at 229, whereas a couple of weeks ago, it was below 200. It was I don't want to say it was way below 200, but it was below 200. His batting average was not representative of who he is as a player. And I'm glad his bat is starting to come around. And what up, Theo? How's it going? And Andrew Dang, the answer to your question is no. I do not think the Yankees should move Ben Rice to third base. I know there's been a few people that have brought that up and talked about it. I'm not saying it's not impossible, but I wouldn't be in favor of that. I don't think that would be a good move by the Yankees to do. Keep Ben Rice at first base, keep him DHing, and then have him play at the behind the dish. That's how I feel about Ben Rice. Like leave him. He's good where he is right now. I'm not. I am definitely against the idea of him playing third base. Ken, yes, I did see that Jazz was hitting off of a tee and starting doing baseball activities, which is nice. I do hope with Jazz coming back, he does, he makes his improvements at the plate, because prior to his injury, his at bats have been an absolute nightmare. He either strikes out or he hits it to the moon with no results. So, defensively, I have no complaints about Jazz Chisholm. He's great defensively at second base, but his bat certainly needs to come around, because when Jazz was in the lineup, there wasn't really a lot of production from him. All right. And I see Jared in the chat. What up, Jared? What's up, Desiree? How's it going? Good to see you. What is up? I'm just getting through the comments here, just seeing what everybody's saying. Of course. I know you want to DFA DJ, but DJ's not getting DFA'd. He's not going to get DFA'd. So we're not going to even talk about that. But Jazz is going to come back at some point. Who he's going to take over for, I don't know. They'll probably send. If I had to guess, they'll probably send Vivas back down. I can't see any other move that they would make. Ken is thrown out here. Bellinger's hitting over 333 in the past 10 games. He seems to be rounding the corner. That's what I'm saying. So his batting average has been slowly but surely going up. A couple of weeks ago, below 200. Right now, he's sitting pretty. I don't want to say sitting pretty, but he's sitting at 229. That's how I feel about it. And what up, Jason Custodio is in the building. He said, "I just was Jazz Chisholm." He was on Fat Joe's podcast for real. Oh wow, okay. What were they talking about? Rap. Excuse me, rap music, food. Custodio says, "I can't wait for the Subway Series. It's going to be epic." Yeah, this Subway Series, man. We'll talk about that here momentarily. There's a couple of other players that I wanted to mention that I feel like has shown some improvement, and hopefully those improvements continue. And we got Cold Italian Pizza in the building. What's up? How's it going, man? So, there's a couple of pitchers that, I feel as though they have stepped up as well. And one of those guys is I gotta mention Clark Schmidt. Now, when he started the season off, it was a bit of a struggle. He was giving up some runs. He wasn't getting the productive outings that we were hoping from him. But his last couple of starts, the start against the Padres, we weren't. At least I wasn't really sure how he was going to do. I thought the Padres were going to be just hitting all over the place with him, and they were going to get hits and home runs against him. But the fact of the matter is, I do think that Clark Schmidt, last couple of starts, I think he did better than expected against the Padres. I think he exceeded expectations. I believe he went 6 innings in that game against the Padres. He pitched really well. And of course, in that game, the Yankees ended up winning. So you never want to waste a bad start. Right, you never ever want to waste a bad start. And his last outing against the Mariners, he, they hit a home run off of him, but he was still able to keep the team in the game. He was struggling slightly in the beginning of the game, but then he finds his groove. That's the kind of pitcher that Clark Schmidt is. Clark Schmidt's one of those guys that, he struggles in the first couple of innings. He's not able to locate his pitches in the strike zone. His pitches, he tends to throw a lot of balls. He does tend to, in the beginning, draw some or throw some or pitch for some walks, right? He throws a lot of balls, and he's not able to get the outs, get the strikeouts that he's looking for. And, he puts himself in a jam, and sometimes you do get a little nervous for him, but he does manage to get himself out of it, to his credit. But, there are games where, yeah, he starts off really slow. He does struggle. But he finds his groove. He gets in his groove, and later on in the game. So, about the third or fourth inning, I'd say about the fourth inning or so, he settles. He looks more comfortable out there. And his last couple of starts, the one against the Padres, the one against the Mariners, he looked solid in both of those starts. And he kept the team in the game. And the Yankees offense came through for him. So I can't complain too much about how he's performed as of late. And what up there, Celso? What's going on, bro? How's life? How are you doing? Good to see you, man. But Clark Schmidt, that he's another one of those players that that caught my attention. I think he has shown some improvement in the last couple of starts. Hopefully we see more of that consistency. I think we will. I do think that we will see more of that consistency from him, as long as he's we know that he can he can settle down in the later innings, and he's not giving up a lot of runs, and he's still keeping the team in the game. I do feel good about him. And Ken, yeah, I know exactly. That's what I'm saying. I know he didn't have his spring training. He had 2 rehab starts at AA Somerset. So yeah, he didn't really have a whole lot of time to, really prepare, because he was recovering from his injury, and, he had to work his way back, and so, there was doubts about him, especially when he was in his first couple of outings. It was a little rough for him, but then, he was able to, turn it around. And Clark Schmidt is one of those guys. I mean, with some fans, they like him. Other fans, they're unsure about him. Me personally, I'm a fan of the guy. I like Clark Schmidt. I do think that he is a good pitcher. I mean, he's exactly what he is. He's your number 3, number 4 guy in the starting rotation. It's not like he's an ace, right? He's not an ace caliber pitcher. He's not Garrett Cole. He's not Max Fried. But I do think that he has done a good job in his last couple of starts, and I hope, again, that consistency continues. What up, Rye Bread? How's it going? Now, the last guy I want to mention, and Li, this one is for you, because I know how much you're going to appreciate this, and that is Will Warren. Okay, Will Warren, folks. Will Warren, to start to start the season, yeah, he was struggling on the mound. Other teams that played against him, yeah, they were definitely taking advantage of him. Rookie pitcher, young pitcher, not a lot of experience at the major league level, but he was kind of getting knocked around. He wasn't able to give those solid outings whenever he had to start. And I like what Will Warren has done. I like what he has done in his last couple of outings. I loved what he did against the Athletics. I loved what he did yesterday against the Seattle Mariners. He had a career high 9 strikeouts. He's been looking good. He looked good in his last 2 starts. I think Warren, again, he's not an ace caliber pitcher. He's, a number 3, number 4 guy. What I have noticed in his last 2 outings is that he has been finding the strike zone, right? He's been locating his strikes, and he's been doing a much better job locating his pitches. I have noticed that his fastball has been finding the strike zone, and he's been hitting those targets in around home plate. So, I have been very happy with how Will Warren has performed in his last couple of starts, and I'm with you there, Bill. Warren is coming around. But you gotta give him time, though. I mean, again, I'm still saying I'm giving them time. Rookies, you give them time. They're gonna struggle. They're gonna make mistakes. This is what you got to be patient. I know for a lot of Yankees fans, I know patience is a hard thing to do. But I don't. You can't expect like every prospect to be just knocking it out of the park and just just killing it from day one, right? They're not all going to be that way. But once again, I have been happy with Will Warren's last couple of starts. I think he looks a lot more confident. He looks more comfortable out there. But and yeah, Cold Italian, his curveball is freaking nuts. I like his curveball. His changeup is pretty nuts too. And what up, Bill? How's it going? I see Robert in the chat. Oh, I got to read this comment because I feel like I'm going to get a laugh out of this one. So Li says, "Oh, NFE. So you mean you give a young guy some rope and have some patience? They will prove you correct. Who should have?" Hey, man, listen. I'm all for the young guys playing. I'm all for giving these guys a chance. You got to give them time. Are they going to all work out? No, they're not going to work out. But but I've heard. And I talk to folks who have, who focus and look at Yankees prospects. I've heard a lot of great things about Warren, right? Yeah, they do great in the minor leagues. And that's great. I'm glad to see that. But the biggest question is, how do they perform at the majors? And once again, that's going to that all takes time. That all takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. They got to get playing time. That's how you do it. Ken says, NFE, the thing that has made a difference with Warren is that he has added a two-seam fastball, throws it up in the zones. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about with the fastball. That fastball has been, it's been really, really working out for him. So I'm glad that I'm loving how he's locating those fastballs up in the strike zone. So I don't know. Like I said, his last couple of starts, he's looked really good. I hope it continues in that direction. I hope he still continues pitching well. I think the Yankees rotation as of late has been, looking better, especially considering the fact that they took out Carlos Carrasco out of the rotation. Right now the Yankees ERA, they're ninth overall. Their ERA right now is 3.62. But you got to remember, obviously when they had Carrasco and Warren early on, it was just, it was one of those things where, both of these guys were hurting the rotation because they weren't having real productive starts. But I feel like, Warren is slowly coming around. Carrasco had to be taken out of the rotation. I think that was the correct decision by the Yankees, and they've been having Ryan Yarborough filling in, and he's done a good job. So I mean, the Yankees rotation, considering Cole is out for the season, considering that Luis Hill is not back yet, but he will be at some point. The rotation as of late, they've been holding their own, right? I'm talking about Will Warren. I talked about Clark Schmidt. And you also talk about you can easily say Carlos Rodon. You can't forget Carl. You cannot say Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon, he's been bearded Carlos Rodon, right? He's been looking really good in his starts. So yeah, he kind of got rocked on Saturday, but still managed to have a solid outing. The bats still came through in that game on Saturday, but the bullpen didn't exactly shut down. But anyway, that's besides the point. But Carlos Rodon, though, he's been, he's come around in his last few starts. Yes, we know. Yes, I know he is prone to giving up the long ball. But he even then. He doesn't lose his cool as much as he used to, and he doesn't, lose his composure. So, I don't know about you all, but I like Carlos Rodon. Some of you may not. Some of you probably do, probably don't. But hey, I like how he's looked as of late. So, but that's just, once again, that's just my take on it. Now, the big Subway Series that happens every year, right, between the Yankees and Mets. This one is going to hit a little different, right? Because Yankees, obviously, they don't have Juan Soto. He's a member of the New York Mets. What is the reception going to be like when he gets back to Yankee Stadium, when he gets back to the Bronx? I mean, that that's going to be like the big headline. That's what people are going to be talking about. How are the Yankees fans going to respond when they call out his name? When he comes up to bat, when he's playing right field, what's gonna happen? I just hope that I just hope the fans don't do anything stupid. But I think there are going to be a lot of boos. I expect the boos to be really loud. Some people are just like, just give them the silent treatment, don't say nothing. But yeah, easier said than done. But I do think that Soto is going to get booed. But besides all of that, besides the Soto story, besides Soto going back to the Bronx and to play against his former team, overall, like, I want to ask you all, what do you all think about Soto or not Soto? What do you all think about the series coming up with the Yankees and the Mets? How do you all think the series is going to play out? It's going to be an interesting series. Now, there's no denying, like, Mets pitching. They have a good rotation. I believe their overall ERA right now is at 2.84. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's where their ERA is at. So they got one of the best ERAs, if not the best ERA in all of baseball. But I'm not looking at this as an easy series. I think both teams are going to have their challenges. I think they're going to. I think it's some of these games. I think all these games. I think they're going to be close. But I think you're gonna see close games. I don't think it'll be. I do not think there will be any blowouts in these games. But let me know what you all are thinking. I do see some comments here. So let's see. Jason Custodio says that it's going to be a shootout. And Ken, thank you so much. He says 30 people in the stream. Let's hit the likes. Yeah. If you all haven't hit the like button yet, I would greatly appreciate it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you're new and you're watching this channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Keep sharing this channel out. Custodio says high offense on both sides. Okay. Norma says I don't see us sweeping this series. I don't think there will be a sweep. I do not think that I do not think that there's going to be a sweep. I think it's going to be 2 out of 3. And it's either 2 out of 3 Yankees or 2 out of 3 Mets. It's going to be one of them. Somebody's winning the series. I don't think it'll be a sweep, and I don't think neither team is going to get. I don't think there will be a sweep. So it's going to be 2 out of 3. I think it will be 2 out of 3. You take your pick. Or do you think the Yankees have what it takes to take 2 out of 3 against the Mets? But it's going to be a fun series. It's the Subway Series is always a fun series. I look forward to it every year, and this year especially with Soto coming back to revisit his old team, coming back to the Bronx. The stadium is going to be loud. The fans are going to be loud. But it should end up being a really good series. And Jason is in the building. What's up, Jason? SGA's in the building too. What's up, man? How's it going? But pitching matchups for those games, I'll tell you right now. I know that Carlos Rodon is stepping on the mound tomorrow, and he'll be facing Tyler McGill. You got Clark Schmidt on Saturday versus Griffin Canning. And then the Sunday night game, you're going to have they're having Max Fried, folks. They're having Max Fried pitch against David Peterson. So interesting. So it's going to be that Sunday night game is going to be a lefty-lefty matchup. The Friday night game, which is tomorrow night. So righty versus lefty. And then the Saturday game, it's going to be righty. So Max Fried is pitching on Sunday, which I didn't think that was going to happen. But interesting. Yeah, so those are your pitching matchups there. So, well, I mean, when I looked it up, when I looked it up, it was showing rain for tomorrow and Saturday. Sunday is supposed to look good. I don't know I don't know. Does anybody know in the New York area? If there's a chance that one of the games is going to get rained out, that they may have to postpone it and play a doubleheader? What are we thinking? Yeah, the Yankees don't face Holmes or Senga. Yankees brutalize average or below zone pitchers. Have a lot of issues with tier 1 pitchers. It was an accident, Rodney. It was an accident. But if it happens again, they're mine. You saw a comment as Soto said it's going to be 50,000 against me. Well, I mean, yeah, it is going to be, thousands of fans against him. So he's going to have to overcome the fans booing him. But he's going to be fine. I don't think he's got anything to worry about. It's Juan Soto. I mean, I think he's gonna embrace that. If anything, I mean, it's okay to boo. It's not okay to curse a player or throw stuff at them. I agree. I agree with you there, Jason. It said below saying no rain in forecast is cloudy. I saw rain on my end. I think that's an error. Fried should be pitching Tuesday versus the Rangers. The Yankee rotation for the Mets should be Rodon. Well, yeah, I know Rodon is tomorrow. Then Schmidt is on Saturday. So, or Yarbrough, then Schmidt. Unless they, like you said, if they made a mistake. But I'm just going off of what the Yankees website is saying. So, yeah, that's all. I'm just going off of what they're saying. But unless if it was a mistake on their end, then that's on them. But just want the Yankees to win, so I don't get wrapped up in the Soto. I mean, I'm just going to. We have an off day, so Fried should be ready. Well, that's a good point too. So with today being a day off, but we'll see. Either way, whoever's going to pitch on Saturday, Sunday, or on Sunday in this case, but just go out there, go win. Bill's saying rain in the Bronx Saturday with a high of 75. And Sunday is Fried's 5th day. Saw Friend's half day? Friend's 5th day. Okay. Friend, huh? I got you there, Brad. Either way, look, it's gonna be a great series. The matchups are going to be interesting. I do think that the Yankees, the Mets bats, in my opinion, I'm not gonna sleep on their bats. There are guys in that lineup that could hit, and they could potentially do damage against the Yankees pitching. But I feel you could say the same thing about the Yankees bats. The Yankees bats, I feel as though the Yankees bats can hold their own. My bad. I got a message from my boy 161. Oh, Fried's pitching on. Is that Mondays there, Jason? I don't know if you're still in the chat, but is that for Monday? Billo says screw Soto, shut down Alonso and Lindor. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Alonso and Lindor, like those are the two guys that I'm talking about. The Yankees got to worry about those two guys. So Ken, Bronx weather forecast 32% chance of rain Friday. 38% chance rain on Saturday, 6% chance of rain on Sunday. All right. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out soon enough. Oh, so Tuesday. All right. Yeah, it could. Yeah, we'll see who pitches on Sunday. But if that was an error made by the Yankees website, then we'll find out whether it is freed or not. But either way, I am looking forward to this series, and I hope you all are too. Is anybody going to the game? Is anybody going to the series at all? Anybody going to any of the games? Custodio saying Lindor has good numbers against Rodon and has faced him 35 times. Yeah, hopefully it's a different story this time around, but like I said, I'm not sleeping on the Mets bats. We know that they have good pitching. Again, I think their overall ERA is at 2.84. So anything that Billo says, screw it, don't give anything Soto to hit, walk them, and don't let them get in the heads of the fans. Yeah, then if they just automatically walk them, then you're gonna have people say that they're scared to pitch to them. I'm just saying, hey, go just pitch to them, man. Yeah, that's what I saw too, Jess. That's what I saw too, but I didn't think he was gonna pitch on Sunday. Unless they change their minds, but either way, I'm cool with whatever. I'm cool with whatever happens. So, but I'm looking forward to the series. I can't wait. I can't wait to do the play-by-play for those games. And hopefully I could get some Mets fans in the chat too. There are some Mets fans in my chat, which is great. Hopefully I can meet some more. Just to have some more interactions with Mets fans. And then, real quick, looking at the month of May, just closing things out. Yankees, they do have a day off on Monday. Then the Texas Rangers come into town. Then they travel to Colorado on a 3-game set, which I will be at all 3 games. And then they travel to LA. And they play 3 games against the Angels with a day off on that Thursday. And then they close out the month of May again, and they have a 3-game set against the Dodgers. Dodgers series, it's going to be a tough series. I know the Dodgers are dealing with, some injuries to their team, but I think they're let's look at their standings real quick. I think they're doing fine still. I mean, all things considered. Let's see. Where are we at? Yeah, they're still in first place. I mean, by half a game against the Padres. So, that could very well change at any given moment. So, Ken says, "Let little brother act like jackasses and let the Yankees behave." Fans are fans. Some fans are worse than others. So, if I was going to those games, I just want to go there and enjoy the game. I don't really go to game. I don't go to games to cause a ruckus. I mean, I'll cheer for the team. I may get a little loud, but I just don't go there and cause trouble. It's just like you're not doing yourself any favors. You're gonna get yourself kicked out of a game. You just wasted money on the tickets. I mean, doesn't really help fans out. You know what I mean? Are you going to do some shorts from the Rockies Yankees set? Yeah, probably can. I'll probably put out some shorts. Yeah, for sure. I'll probably put out some shorts. So I'll make sure put something out there. Maybe maybe go live at the game, right, for like a few minutes just to kind of chat it up with all of you. But that's just me. That's probably what I'll do. T85 says Yankees are 25-18. I've said since last season it will be hard for anyone to get 100 wins now because of the rule changes. So 25-18 is decent at today's MLB. Well, 25-18 is good for the Yankees, especially considering considering the injuries that they have. Oh yeah, nosebleed section. I saw you in the building, nosebleed. I don't know if you're still in the building, but Bill O is asking you a question here. But I was gonna say, Bill O, you could email me and I can send your email to Nosebleed in case if you want to get in touch with him. Brad is saying Gusto's getting kicked is getting NFE kicked out of the. Nah, he'll get himself kicked out. I'm not gonna be kicked out of those games. Screw that, man. That's not gonna happen. Cool. All right. Well, Nosebleed is in the chat. Sweet. So yeah, we gotta get you two in contact. So hey, what's up, Steve Schumann? I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? Free pitched on Tuesday. Normal rest is 4 days, so he certainly can pitch on Sunday night. Oh, definitely. But again, I'm just going off of what Yankees.com is telling me. Nobody's getting my couch. Anybody even puts a finger on my couch, they're going down. Yeah, Dodgers have 3 stars on the IL. Good news for us. Yeah, hey, I mean, never wish injuries on players, but yeah, the Dodgers are dealing with some of their guys being hurt. But let's just hope that let's hope the Yankees can do it in LA. If they go 2 out of 3 in LA, that would be huge. So, yeah, I wanted to face Holmes. I wanted the Yankees to face Clay Holmes too. I really wanted that, not because it was like, yeah, destroy Clay Holmes. I just think the again, the matchup would have been great. Yankees bats against the Yankees, right? Yankees versus Clay Holmes. That would have been a fun matchup, but unfortunately, yeah, Clay Holmes will not be pitching in this series. Maybe the next series when they on 4th of July weekend when they go play in Citi Field, in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, you might see the Yankees might be facing Clay Holmes then. We'll see when those days come around. Yeah, here, Bill. Hey, Bill O. Email me. Email me. I'll send your email to Nosebleed so that way you all could get in touch with each other. So, but yeah, folks, well, that's what we got though. So let me just put my email address in here so Bill can email me. Yeah, so Bill, that's my email right there, dude. So go ahead and email me, and then I'll send your email to Nosebleed. I could contact him on X, so that way you two can get in contact with each other, and then work out the tickets, work out the money, all that fun stuff. I don't get involved in that stuff, but you've been craving a good steak because of me. Oh man, then I'm a good influence. Oh, settle down there, Brad. But yeah. Yeah, you're welcome, dude. Yeah, send me an email. I will send it. Then I will send it over to Nosebleed. That way, you two again can get in contact with each other, and it'll be cool to meet you at the game, man. Let me know where you are going to be sitting, or I don't even know what tickets Nosebleed section has, but that'll be a fun time. But anyway, folks, I am gonna close this out. So I just wanted to go live real quick. Today, Yankees don't have a game today, so I figured, you know what, let me go live. It's not a play-by-play, it's not a pregame, but I just wanted to come on and talk about how how the Yankees are doing so far. Are things finally clicking with them? I feel like they have come around. They're going to continue coming around. I think they'll still continue playing good baseball. Yes, they're going to lose some games. It's inevitable. It's baseball. It's a sport. You win some, you lose some. But let's hope the Yankees can win more games than lose. And let's hope that they can have a great month of May. And I believe that they will. But I cannot wait for the Subway Series tomorrow, starting tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to all 3 games. But folks in the chat, that is going to do it for me. Thank you all for coming on. I do greatly appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure you all hit that like button on the way out if you have not yet. If you're watching this on the rerun, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, you're watching this for the first time, I would greatly appreciate it. Continue sharing this channel out. I would greatly appreciate it. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one, folks. And as always, let's go Yankees.